Thanks to the supporters of channel member DC Maximo. Our quest to win the World Cup continues today. Brazil are quite good though, so it might also end today. I hope it doesn't. I'd really like to win the World Cup. Hello and welcome to part 3 of my non-league to legend World Cup extravaganza. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, it is the quarterfinal against Brazil. If we make it past Brazil, the semi-final would be against Italy or Morocco, and then a final against Poland, Spain, France or Germany. So obviously we're hoping to get past Brazil, then play Morocco and then Poland, and we might be okay. Brazil is going to be a tall order, though. This is the team we're putting out there for the game against Brazil. And as you can see, we have a not fully fit Joe Ireland in midfield. That's because we also have a not fully fit Jude Bellingham down on the bench. And we just have to decide which one of our not fully fit players we're going to use. And as you can see from the fitness levels, because it's international football, because it's the World Cup, because you can't control training, rest players, we are starting to accumulate fatigue. So we are going to be probably doing some unusual selection decisions for the rest of the tournament if we get past Brazil today. And I think Joe Ireland is probably the first of those. If this was a club game for Manchester United, he'd definitely be on the bench because Jude Bellingham would definitely be fully fit, as is. We're resting Bellingham, Burrows, Mikey Moore, Howell, who started the last game, Littlefair started the last game. You can see a lot of the players we rotated in the last game are now being rested out. Bukayo Saka, we're holding back for a potential second half appearance or semi-final. We've got Preen and Lacey out wide. It's complicated working out who to use and when, but this is the team. It's Haseldin in goal, a back four of Gibbons, Dalrymple, Young and Lewis, Hinshelwood at the base of the midfield, Wharton and Ireland ahead of him, and then Preen on the left, Lacey on the right, Ranieri up front. Ricky Pilbrow, as you'll have seen in the last episode, is out for the rest of the tournament, which is why Adam Wharton is now in midfield. Well, we're not getting Poland, are we? Because Spain have beaten Poland earlier on today. Let's get our team submitted and hopefully beat Brazil and get ourselves into that semi-final against Spain. It's not going to get any easier if we get there, is it? If we have a look at the Brazil team, see how many of these boys we recognise. So they've not got Endrick. Endrick's supposedly their best player, but he's on the bench. So again, they're probably suffering from some of the same issues that we've got fitness-wise. Players who we've managed in this save, Maninho, we had at Manchester United when I first arrived, but sold him. Everton Antonio's down on the bench. Endrick, Nizinho, who is the guy we signed and then loaned out to Sunderland and various others and then sold. He's in the squad as well. But yeah, the ones we're obviously keeping an eye on are the attackers. No, Thiago Bentes, who's been doing really, really well at Real Madrid. I think he's Brazilian. Maybe he's Portuguese. But is there a chance we could still play Portugal in this tournament and find him? Who knows? Look at that as a scary sign of the future from both Spain and Barcelona. Kabasi and Lamine Yamal scoring the 2 goals in the 2034, I think this is, World Cup. The future's very bright for Spanish football, clearly. But we don't care about that. We care about... Oh, for goodness me. I was about to do an Ethan Ranieri speech and he gave the ball away, and then Haseldin making the save. I mean, this is the most consecutive matches Haseldin's played in his career at either club or international level. He's probably absolutely shattered all the football he's had to play this month. Brazil testing us from set pieces. Obviously, we've not got Levi Burrows in the team. He's another one who is not starting the game because he's not fully fit. And we might need him in the second half. If we get to the semi-final, we'll probably need him there because as much as Brazil are scary going forward, they're not quite as scary as Spain, who of course have the aforementioned Lamine Yamal, who we saw at Manchester United, just how good he is. So we're going to want Burrows to deal with him. Adam Wharton, yet another Our midfield are dropping like flies. Right, we're going to bring Mainu on. I did not expect to be playing Mainu in a World Cup quarterfinal when I spent the whole season not playing him for Manchester United. But I guess he's going to be relatively fit. Is fit the right word? Probably not match fit, but less shattered than the rest of them. So might become a key player for the rest of the tournament as the midfielders are dropping like flies. He keeps talking about the rest of the tournament as if he's going to get there, but it is 0-0 as we approach half time, and we've not really created anything going forward just yet. I don't know how long we can leave Ireland on for. We've obviously got Bellingham potentially able to come on. Saka should probably come on as well. In fact, Shea Lacey's picked up a knock, so this feels like my opportunity to get Bukayo Saka onto the pitch. So he can come on that right-hand side. Preen is also tiring, so Mikey Moore is going to come on for him, who has been pretty useful in the tournament so far. Ireland probably isn't going to last much longer, but we've only got 2 more substitutions to make, 1 more stoppage, I think. We need to drag it out a little bit longer if we can. Let's offer some encouragement. If we can make it to the 70th minute before being forced into our final changes, I guess that's a positive. Gibbons is tiring. Lewis is tiring. Ireland is done. So Bellingham can come on for Ireland. And then the question is, I kind of want to get Levi Burrows on. Do we bring him on at right back instead of Rico Lewis? We might bring him on. We might put Lewis to left back. No, Lewis is on a yellow card. Leave Gibbons at left back. Levi Burrows is going to come on and play right back because we want his set piece threat. We've got 20 minutes to go. Yes, he's our best centre back, but he's also able to play right wing. He's a pretty useful right back, and he's a big boy who might just be the difference maker from a corner late on in this game at either end of the pitch. Right, Brazil have a free kick. If Endrick had been on the pitch, this is very much in Endrick's sweet spot, but it's not Endrick who's going to be taking it because I don't think they've brought him on yet. It's going to be a guy called Iran, who we did look at a couple of times when we were at United. He has been scouted and hassled in, making the save to keep us in the World Cup. It does give Brazil another corner. They've had a lot of corners in this match, but please don't concede late. We've brought Levi Burrows on now, specifically for this at either end of the pitch. Just there you go. I think it is Burrows who gets under it. Hinshelwood gets it clear. And this is where our lack of being able to bring on a proper centre forward. I've been going on about it all tournament long. We just don't have a proper out and out striker, and we're suffering from it a little bit here, I think. But it looks like we're going to extra time, which I think means 1 more substitution. When Yeri is shattered, we know Gibbons is tired from before as well. We've got Kyle Smith, Ryan Flynn, Zach. We've got various new gen strikers we could bring on. My assistant manager says Ryan Flynn. I mean, he's 6'2" and very physical. He's definitely my kind of striker. My concern with him is he's scored 1 goal in the last year and has never scored for England. This is his hero making moment. He's either going to be a hero or a villain here, isn't he? We've taken off, I think, our top scorer in the squad, although Saka or Bellingham, I guess, have played so many games at this point that they might have outscored Ranieri, but he's got over 40 goals. I don't know how many of these two have got. Should we have a look? Bellingham, 42, so he might be the top scorer. Can we see Saka as well? Saka has 51, so I guess actually Saka is the highest scorer in the squad, but these two both getting on a bit and haven't really offered us anything since coming off the bench in this match, have they? Brazil opting to bring Naizinho on ahead of Endrick. Obviously, he's somebody who's going to feel like he's got something to prove. I signed him for both Coventry. No, I tried to sign him at Coventry, brought him into United, never really gave him a chance. And it looks like we're going to have the horror of penalty shootout. Unless Brazil score here, which is even more horrible in the 120th minute. Oh, Hasselden. What a man. England's number 1, should be Manchester United's number 1. He's going to come out of this, surely, with Premier League clubs willing to bring him in as a starter. He's Man United's 3rd choice goalkeeper. He surely could find a mid-table Premier League team and carve himself out a Jordan Pickford-style career as England's goalkeeper and a goalkeeper in the bottom half of the Premier League and have a lovely old time. Right, Bellingham. It's the first thing we've seen from Bellingham. Flynn is there! And Ryan Flynn has made himself a hero. Has it been given, though? It's 121 minutes on the clock. The ref is looking over at the linesman. The linesman doesn't have his flag up. It's gone to VAR. And it's been disallowed. And that's the kind of heartbreak just before a penalty shootout that can mess with brains. That, if anything, look at his hair. He's an incredible specimen. If anything, that gives Brazil an advantage, I think, going into the penalty shootout because they already feel like they've been knocked out. We already feel like we've won it. And now we've got to go and win it again. I think I hate penalties. Oh, I hate penalties. Right. Come on, gentlemen. For England, I mean, England doing penalties, how could it possibly go wrong? Right, Haseldin really needs to make himself a hero here. And he doesn't from the first penalty. Oh, I'm not going to enjoy very much of this, I don't think. Saka now stepping up. England's top scorer still in the squad. Bukayo Saka. It's heartbreaking stuff. Well, is that it already? Is it finished there? Did Haseldin save that, or did that hit the crossbar? It was a save. It said at the bottom that's a save. Haseldin getting us back in it. Now we need our other elder statesman, Jude Bellingham. Please don't bottle it. It's 1-1. It's back on. Right. 3 penalties each remaining, and here's Nizinho, the man who I never gave a chance to. He is carrying a knock. Haseldin, a fellow Manchester United reserve, but he's sent the wrong way by Nizinho, and it's now going to be Flynn, who thought he won it like 3 minutes ago, and that has got to be playing on his mind as he steps up to stake his penalty, and he's still never put the ball in the back of the net in an England shirt. He's gone from hero to villain, and it's now advantage Brazil again as they step up for their 4th penalty and they score it. And now we need heroics, we need miracles here now, and we've got to score our final 2 and save their final 1 just to get it to sudden death, and it's going to be Mainu. Oh, I mean, he only made his England debut this season at 30 years old. Another one who I never really gave a chance at Manchester United, but he scores that so confidently, just rolls it past the goalkeeper. And now all eyes on Haseldin. He could do the ultimate heel turn here and just be like, oh, you never gave me a chance, boss, and just let it go in. But I suspect he'd quite like to win the World Cup. So fingers crossed he saves it and we can have a little bit more heroics yet. Come on, boys. And, oh, I thought he had. He did not. Well, that's not ideal, is it? We're not going to end the series with a World Cup win, boys and girls. Very sad. England problems. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to retire as manager. In the interest of not offering any spoilers from episode lengths, I think we're going to go and have a look back at the other teams I've managed in this save. We'll spend about 10 minutes doing that, just so it's a 20-minute long video. Wow. I think I might be getting sacked. Never mind retiring. What a way to end an incredible career, getting sacked by England after, 2 years in the job? Right. Let's head down to see how Brackley have done. They're back up into League One. David Platt, not that one, is manager, apparently. Interesting. What has gone on here? Farid Alpha Ruprecht is not there anymore, but he is a club legend after taking them all the way up to League One and then all the way back down again. And then they've gone back up again without me. Ionvian is an icon. Retired as a Brackley player this year. That's a career. I love that. Big Bradley Ionvian was there for 9 years. He's retired at 31, just before his testimonial year, which seems like a little bit of an oversight on his part. I'm not even on the favoured personnel anymore. I'm the one who got us where we are, or where you are. Probably not we anymore. But let's have a look at what they've done, because this is a very mad story. So I picked things up with obviously down in the National League North, eventually got us promoted. We then got promoted from the National League. And then I left with the club top of League Two to go to Coventry. So I'm claiming that promotion as well. They then got relegated from League One the following year, immediately relegated again from League Two. So me leaving did cause some problems. A season of consolidation in the National League was then followed up by winning the National League. And then further demonstration that there's not much of a gap between the National League and League Two, because a 4th place finish and then a 7th place finish. And Brackley have actually won a playoff because they finished 7th in League Two, and that was enough to get them up to League One. So Brackley back in League One, only for the 2nd time in their history. And they did it completely without me this time around. I obviously set the stage for them. Me and my tycoon buddy Adam. Although Adam left not long after me. I left in, does it say on here when managers leave? Managers. I left in 2027. And yeah, Adam left 2 years later after the relegation. Did move him into the Glen Walker Park, which should be the Kevin Chapman Stadium as far as I'm concerned. I am very... Football Manager need to sort this out. There's no way I'm not at least favoured personnel. I should be a club legend. I took this club into the Football League for the first time ever. How am I not a club legend? Who the hell's Glenn Walker? What's he done to be a club legend? Played for the club in non-league for 8 years. And he's now got the stadium named after him. Are you all right, Football Manager? Goodness me. What did these guys do to be club icons? Kevin Wilkin. How long did he manage them for? Can't even see. There you go. He managed them for 7 years. Again, deep down in non-league. I took him to League One. David Platt, not that one, took him to League One. What do me and David Platt, not that one, have to do to be recognised as the heroes that we are? How did Owen Farmer get on? He left to go to Baseford and never really, I guess never really recovered from that injury that he had in his final season under me. So that's Brackley. Then, of course, we went on to Coventry, who we know is still knocking around in the Premier League. Ralph Hasenhüttl is manager there now. In fact, he took over for me. He's been there longer than I have. He's been there 4 years and very much steadied the ship, I guess, after all the excitement of me turning up and dragging us back to the Premier League for the first time in forever. Also qualifying for the Champions League. And now Ralph has just enjoyed being a kind of a mid-table, occasionally flirting with the Champions League kind of team. There's been another season in the Champions League as well. So they lost to Arsenal in the knockout playoff the year after I left, and then lost to Man City in that knockout playoff the other time. Then it seems a little bit harsh that English teams can play English teams in the knockout playoffs, but Coventry being done in by them both times. Have they got into other flavours of Europe? Got to the quarterfinal of the Europa League, and that is that. Have they won anything? Runners up in the FA Cup in 2029. Obviously, we won the champion. Oh, that was us. We lost that FA Cup final, didn't we? Did win the Carabao Cup. I won that. So am I on the favoured personnel here? I am on the favoured personnel here. Still not considered as much of a big deal as Steve Grizovic, which I would disagree. I mean, Gary McAllister as player and manager. How am I not at least on Gary McAllister's level? How am I not on James Maddison's level? I don't understand. Illing, Manuel. I like seeing Manuel on this. He's still there. I tell you what, he's become awesome. We signed him in as like a utility attacker, and he's turned into an absolute superstar for them. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Illing, is he still there? He is still there. 31 now. He's properly established. Dane Scarlett, of course, we brought in and then sold. He was part of the reinvestment that allowed us to go and get the likes of Colin Hart and Levi Burrows. Hart is still there. Look at that value range. There were a couple of times I looked at him for both Manchester United and England. You can see we played him for England a couple of times. He wasn't quite an elite level player. At 24 years old now, he's a good Premier League player, but that's all he's ever going to be. I feel like he had more potential than that and hasn't quite fulfilled it. But Liam Regis is still there. He's 26 and having a lovely old time. Assetti, I signed him. He's still there, having a lovely old time. Should we have a look at the transfers? So the season I left, did I do these transfers? I did these transfers because I signed Heilbronn just before I left. So after I left, they did spend £84 million still. That was a lot of it. In fact, these were all pre-arranged transfers by me. Certainly those two were. That one was a loan being made permanent. These are the two that I pre-arranged. So he's still there and looking like a jolly good player. And Assetti, of course, is still there. And then they got those two. Who did they sell? So again, I think I arranged Arblaster leaving. Obviously, I arranged Dane Scarlett leaving. And then you could argue I arranged Heilbronn and Burrows leaving. I mean, that's a lot of money. They didn't really spend it. I'm surprised they've sold Aguier to Hull. He was always quite good for us and has gone on to play very, very well for Hull at 30 years old to have that kind of value range. Feels like they could have got a little bit more than 1.4 million for him. That feels like a mistake. And then the following year, even after me giving them all of that money, they've not really reinvested it. They've signed in a few fringies, not really sold anyone that summer either. Ebosele leaving again, but no major sales there. Rogbanum went to Utrecht. And then again, I mean, there's not masses of ins and outs. Max Aaron's leaving. Gozzi left. There you go. Fraser Donnelly. I told you he was good. He went to West Ham for 41 million. People told me he wasn't. I almost signed him for Manchester United. Probably for the best that I didn't, because I've never even played him for England. But there was a moment where I did consider taking him to Man United with me as my one player from Coventry. And then Masushima, I thought he was going to be great when we signed him. Not really worked out for him, has it? Joey Keating went to Villarreal for 36 million. Never done enough to get in an England squad, and now he's going to go and earn his money at 26. He's going to go to Al Hilal and earn more in a week than I'll earn in my lifetime, I imagine. So I guess, I mean, it's a shame. I feel like he could have been a Coventry forever captain, career man. If he's good enough to be at Villarreal and good enough to go to Al Hilal on big money at his age, I feel like he'd be good enough to play for and captain Coventry until his mid-30s and become a proper club legend. But I guess 'twasn't to be. And I mean, at this point, it's not really looking a lot like my team. De Winter finally leaving. I took a big loss on him, but did keep him longer than I would have. I definitely would have sold him and tried to cash in on him a little bit earlier, but he doesn't look a lot like my team anymore, does it? Amrouche is still there. He did turn into a centre-back in the end then. Clearly not a real top-level one, or I'd have looked at him. They've got a Bordalas as well. I had a Bordalas at Man United, right? I'm not losing my mind. I think I did. Manchester United, where are you? You've got a Bordalas as well, yeah? It's only a few days since I played in this save. What on earth are they doing here? Oh, God. I did so much good work only for whichever pervert has come in after me to do that. There you go. We did have a Bordalas. Who on earth has done that? Nobody. They haven't even got a manager. They've just reverted to Ten Hag ball. What are they thinking? That's hideous. A hideous flatback six. It's all going to fall apart. Obviously, we will do a 5 years in the future as well, so you can see if it all falls apart. My plan from here for the rest of the week, I can't guarantee this will be coming out consecutively or every day because I need to get a few things set up for this. But we are going to do a 5 years in the future, which hopefully will be tomorrow. I am going to do maybe a one-off video, maybe a little mini-series saving Liverpool, because obviously in this save, Liverpool have ended up down in the Championship. So that'll be like an alternate universe to what we see in the 5 years in the future. It won't be the same save file, but I will insert myself at Liverpool and we'll see what we can do. Probably from this date, because obviously we've already missed the start of the transfer window. So we'll see if we can save Liverpool. That will likely be either one big video or maybe one season per episode for a few episodes, because the idea is not just to get them back to the Premier League, but get them back to being better than Man United. So we've got to topple that incredible Man United team and win the Premier League, win the Champions League, all that kind of stuff. So it'll probably, if it's one big video, it won't be out for a few weeks. If we do it as one season at a time, we could probably do one every few days. That might even go on LOLLUJO too. We will see, because the main thing I'm looking to do here, as soon as I can get a database set up for it, which I haven't done yet, but if you've got any suggestions, let me know in the comments. The Pentagon, a proper Let's Play version of the Pentagon. Obviously, we did one earlier in FM24 as like a fast-paced edity one. This is just going to be a normal Kev save doing a Pentagon. I'd like a bigger database than we had when I did it before. Like with the one I used last time, the only African country that was playable was South Africa. I'm going to need to find a database that allows us to have a little bit more choice, but we'll do a proper Pentagon, similar kind of pace to what we've done non-League to Legend, maybe 6, 7, 8 episodes a season, and I would expect that to take a good 15 seasons probably to do, so that will keep us occupied for the next few months. That's the plan. I think I've talked enough now for the episode length not to be a spoiler. So we'll wrap things up there. If you've enjoyed the episode, I've talked so long, I've got over the fact I was sad about losing. I don't care anymore. It was only England. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. and thank you very much for watching.